Welcome back to Love Where You Live. I'm Travis Culver here at Payette Brewing Company in Boise with Mike Francis. He's the owner of Payette Brewing. You might be familiar with that from, well, pretty much every grocery store I think there is. I see you guys' stuff all over the place. Right. So you went to Boise High and then you moved to, you said?
I went to University of Washington in Seattle.
UW. And and what did you study there?
Industrial engineering. From there, I went and worked at Boeing on their final assembly line. So a lot of what we did was trying to make airplanes easier and faster. And,
to put together?
Henry Ford was probably one of the first industrial engineers doing the assembly line.
Okay.
So that's kind of the basis of it, and then it goes all the way through manufacturing processes.
So what caused you to move back from building great big old giant jumbo jets to, I'm going to go back to Boise, Idaho and make beer?
So I moved back here to open Payette Brewing. I was living in Seattle, home brewing, didn't really want to work at Boeing anymore, so I left and went to brewing school. So when I left Boeing, my goal was to open a brewery in Boise. I moved back in 2009, and the brewery opened in 2011.
So that's barely 5 years ago.
Yeah, a little over 5 years ago.
That's not even 6 or 7 like I originally thought. You're like 5 years into this. And now what does Payette Brewing look like? This little dream of yours.
It's a little bit further than my plan originally. So now we have this new facility here down on River Street, and we have a 60-barrel brew house as opposed to our 15-barrel where we started. And
now, when you say 60 barrel, does it mean like at a time?
So yeah, the batch size is 60 barrels, which is essentially 120 kegs per batch. Yeah.
So talk to me about this tap room. Like, this is recent, right? You only opened this when?
In June. So the whole facility opened up in the beginning of June. So
why do you love Idaho so much? Because you told me, you're like, look, at some point I knew I was going to come back to Idaho. Why do you love it here?
Lots of things. Skiing is probably a bigger passion to me than it is
skiing
than
or
beer.
boarding?
Skiing.
Skiing.
So I love skiing. Also grew up as a kayaker. So that's actually where the name Payette Brewing came from. I grew up on the Payette River.
Yeah, sure.
Going with my buddies all the time. And when I was in Seattle, I was trying to figure out what to name this brewery, and I was like, what do I miss most about Idaho? And my number one thing was the Payette River. So that kind of came to the top as a beer name or a brewery name.
So one of the things that Payette Brewing is developing a name for, or being involved in, I should say, is Kegs for a Cause. Tell me about that. What is that?
So that's it's part of our giving program. Overall, as a company, we have a program called Payette Forward.
Payette Forward.
Wordplay
clever.
There. So our Kegs for a Cause portion is that every Monday night we have a different nonprofit that comes down, and we donate 50% of the beer sales on Monday nights to that nonprofit.
Okay.
So we've done. Last I saw was something like 250 different nonprofits that we've donated money to, and the groups usually come down and they set up a little booth about them, and some people go all out and do raffles and get live music. And
now, can I find out about that on your website? Like, so if I have a nonprofit and I'd like to be a beneficiary of that, you just reach out to you guys and let you know we're interested.
Yeah, there's a tab in our website for Payette Forward, and there's information in there for all of our different giving.
That's awesome. What inspired you to do that?
I actually really started with Radio Boise. They were getting going about the same time as us, and we were trying to figure out ways to get known, and they were kind of just getting going. And so we talked with them, and at the time we weren't even open on Monday nights, so we were brainstorming ideas. I was like, okay, how about this? You guys, tell people on the radio that we're going to do this, give us some advertising, and we're going to give you half of our beer sales on a Monday night that we're not even open. So we did with them a few times, and it turned out to be successful. And then it just grew from there into, hey, let's open this to everyone. This is great.
What a cool thing.
Yeah.
I applaud you for doing that. That is really, really neat. And it's called Kegs for a Cause. Obviously, people come, they buy their favorite beer, whatever. And
yeah, all you have to do is drink a beer and you're helping a charity.
50%, that's very generous too. Speaking of your beers, by the way, you have 3 in front of you. Now, I am no beer expert, but I'm assuming we have either a stout or a porter here of some kind, or is this just a really dark?
It's a red IPA, actually.
This is a red. Oh, sure enough, I should have looked at the light.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a red IPA. What's it called?
It's called Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
It's our fall seasonal.
Such a light-hearted named beer.
It's not named for a true, well, kind of. It's named for Slaughterhouse Gulch that's up towards the Highlands. Is actually
okay.
Maybe not known fact. There used to be slaughterhouses up in the.
No, where?
Up in the Highlands, like near where like Crane Creek is. There's one of those called Slaughterhouse Gulch.
If you ask me, that's where they should still be because they smell so bad. So this is Slaughterhouse Red IPA. What's this here?
This is our Rodeo Citra Pale Ale.
Okay.
It's one of our Utah beers.
Okay, so it's also an IPA.
It's a 4% beer, so
but
it's really hoppy.
okay.
It's a pale ale.
Gotcha.
It's a really citrusy
So it's not
flavor.
considered an Indian pale ale, but it's
not
still
as
pale.
not as hoppy and as bitter as a lot of the IPAs.
See, I'm learning. I'm learning. And what about this one here?
That's our Blood Orange IPA.
Blood Orange IPA.
It's an IPA infused with the citrus flavors of a blood orange, so it has really great citrus flavors to it.
Now, like in any given month, how many different brews do you have going? Like how many varieties?
Let's see.
Shoot from the hip.
At least 19, because we have 19 on tap.
Wow.
So sometimes
That's
there's more.
a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, we have about 8 different beers in cans right now.
Who comes up with them? You, or is there a brewmaster?
A lot of the early on ones I did, and now our brewers, we have a great team of brewers that we do some R&D brewing at our old facilities still.
R&D.
We give someone, each brewer gets 2-month stint down there to do pretty much whatever they want. So they come up with ideas.
I get the feeling that the R&D, sorry, I want you to continue. I'm just thinking, I get the idea that the R&D brewing is kind of like that stigma you said people have about brewers. Like, those guys are down there just brewing.
I mean, they don't drink all day.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's only one guy down there, so there's almost more work for him. So,
he's all alone then?
Yeah. So I guess who knows what he's doing.
Does he? Better come out the other end with some new flavors.
Yeah. Our R&D meeting is probably the one time that we do.
R&D meeting.
There. It's where we sit around and try beers and stuff.
That's cool.
So it's very important, but that's probably the one time where the stigma of us just drinking is
because
at least it's close to being true.
You kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
You have to get a feel. So that's kind of a really big compliment, isn't it, to a beer master, to a brewmaster, to let them have kind of the run of a place and go, look, we want you to go nuts. Just make the best beer you can. I mean, isn't that kind of like a cat's meow for some of these guys?
Oh, that's why they really enjoy that, because when we were just brewing down there was someone had an idea. We just didn't have a chance an opportunity to brew. So, part of brewing, there's the science of it. That's a lot of what here you're doing the same thing, making a consistent beer, and then there's the art of it, where you get to try new stuff, and that's I think everyone gets into brewing for different reasons, but there's always that appeal of hey, I want to try something new and fun.
The fingerprint, right? It's like a little fingerprint. So they're over there able to play around a little bit, and if you come up with something that everybody really likes, then you create the science of it, and you bring it over here?
Then we'll bring it over here and put it into production and put it into cans or something like that. So it's kind of that's where they get to try anything, and then over here is where we're doing the
and where you make it happen.
Big production.
Yeah, you did the little batch. Now we're going to turn it into a great big batch.
Exactly.
And you look around you, and you got this great big beautiful tap house, and I would assume you got room out there if you wanted to do like a little outdoor thing.
Yeah, the outside is a nice beer garden with games, and when it's sunny, unlike today, it's a really fun spot to hang out.
Yeah, but cool to see your dream come to reality. What an amazing thing. Well, here you are 5 years later, and this place has exploded. It just exploded. That's got to feel good.
Oh yeah, it's really cool when you step back and you're like, wow, what
Is it hard to step back though? Do you find it hard to take that step back?
It can be tough sometimes. You get consumed with the day-to-day and the looking to the future and all the stuff, but every once in a while you need to. The good thing is we have beer here, so I can grab a beer and sit back and go, wow, this is pretty cool.
What's your dream for Payette Brewing in 5 years? Where would you like to be? What would you like to have accomplished, do you think?
I want to fill up this place a little more. Grow to be a good regional brewery. When we started, it was trying to be about this size was our goal, and then now when we got to that point, it was try to be kind of put Idaho on the map and let people know, hey, more than just potatoes in Idaho. We make really good beer, and there's a lot of great breweries making good stuff around here. So it's trying to get the rest of the country to realize that what's happening here in Boise.
Well, listen, if you want to know more about Payette Brewing, about all their different brews, the story behind it all, or Kegs for a Cause, just swing by lovewhereyoulivetv.com.